Hey guys, welcome back inside the toy room. I'm John, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go to, into a blast from the past, we're going to look at variations. I'm going to tell you a story about living back in the day and collecting toys. This is going to end up probably being a new series where I go through key variations throughout the history of toy collecting. Things that, like, when I was growing up collecting toys, we were going gung-ho for, like, highly sought after, but yet today, not so much. They just kind of fell by the wayside. So it's sort of like going back and reminiscing about, man, at a certain time, this was the be-all, end-all of, like, collecting. You had to have this variation, or you were, like, out there, but yet, by today's standards, you can take it or leave it. And a lot of these things have lost their value. So it's pretty interesting to go back and take a look at stuff like this and just see, like, the history behind everything. Go through the story. At least I find it interesting. I hope you guys too. Like, go through the story a little bit behind all this stuff and how it happened. And then, compare it to today's market and what's going on. So anyways, I'll get on with the video. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute as I go through the story behind the first one I'm doing, which is the brown vest Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker with lightsaber and removable cloak versus the black vest version. And we'll go through all the variations and I'll tell the story and all that stuff. And then if you guys like this kind of thing, I'll do more of it. I've got, like, pink cannonball versus purple cannonball. We've got the spy version 5 of Wolverine. We got Commando Spawn. I've got, like, Star Wars Action Masters, the 4-pack. Like, there's all these different figures that we grew up with and different variations and things that at a certain point in history, a certain point in time, they were the be-all, end-all of collecting. Where today, not so much. But I'd like to go through and do a video for each one of those kind of things. And we'll just talk about it and have fun and go through the story. So, anyways, here we go with brown-vested Luke versus black-vested Luke. In 1995, Star Wars was back on the toy shelves with Power of the Force action figures. And there were a few variations in the line through the years. And one of the most famous was in 1996 with the Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight with lightsaber and removable cloak. The figure came in two different styles, or color schemes, if you will. The first was Luke with a black vest and a black removable cloak. And then we had Luke with a brown vest and a very dark blue removable cloak. The lightsabers also had variations on them. The saber hilt could have either raised ridges or rings on the hilt, or there could be indented rings or ridges on the hilt. It's shown like here, Power of the Force Star Wars figures also had numeric code variations that were highly sought after at the time of release. But today, they usually do not demand any higher prices or anything like that. The numeric code in question is like a .00 or a .01 code variation, such as in this example where my Luke is 532822.00, where this other figure is 540897.01. So the .00 and the .01 being the main difference that people are looking for. Back in the mid to late 90s, when these were hitting toy shelves, everyone wanted the .00 versions, which meant that they had the very first release or the very first run of that figure. The Luke Jedi Knight that we are talking about today also had two different green colored card backs, which I'll be showing you here. They had hologram versions and non-hologram versions of this Luke Skywalker figure. There supposedly is also a green carded version of Luke Jedi Knight with a blue lightsaber, but I could not find any photographic proof to validate that claim. Another interesting thing to note is that back in the day, I was told the only way to get the brown-vested Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker was to go to a movie theater, and the movie theaters were the ones that were giving it away. But in doing research for this video, I found that not to be true at all, and that it was just randomly packed in cases. It was a running error, kind of thing. What's interesting to note today, though, is that almost none of this ended up mattering in the long run. Back in the mid to late 90s, we were all going crazy trying to find all the variants and getting all the figures with the .00 version. And now in the end, it didn't really make much sense to do all that. Like, for example, this brown-vested Luke shot up to $50 or $60 in some markets back in the 90s. And you can still even find some guides that still suggest the brown-vested Luke is worth $50. However, a quick search on eBay, and you'll easily find yourself one for around $15 to $20. Most Power of the Force figures these days can be found for around $25 or less, and surprisingly, a lot of them are just around $5 each. Even figures that cost a premium back in the 90s, before the internet and internet sales became a prominent thing, are relatively pretty cheap. See, the problem back then was we didn't have instant news. Like today, we've got the internet, and as soon as someone figures something out, everyone knows about it. News back in the 90s would flow through magazines such as Toy Fair, and a few online forums that started popping up, but really mostly it was just word of mouth. And these sources were often not always trustworthy. Or, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I should just say they weren't always up to date. As new info on things like variations and such, they would always take time to make its way through the community, make its way around each town and from one town to the next, from one side of the country to the other side. It would always take a long time for that information to flow through. And in the meantime, you're running around hunting for a variation that you think is worth $1 million, and lo and behold, years later, you find out it really wasn't worth that much at all. Because there's millions of them. And that's the kind of variations I want to look at and the kind of things I want to talk about in this series. Just like I said with Pink Cannonball, or the fifth version of Toy Biz's Wolverine, the Spy Wolverine. There were so many variations and so many things we were hunting for back in the day, and today they're a dime a dozen. So I hope you guys like this series. I hope you guys like this video. And let me know in the comments below, do you want to see more like this? I'm sure I can refine the technique and get better at it as I go along. Maybe give you the information a little quicker and more precise. I don't know how I did in this video, but you guys can let me know in the comments below. And I can improve from there, right? All right, guys. Well, here we go. The brown-vested Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker with lightsaber removable cloak versus the black-vested Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker with lightsaber and removable cloak. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm John. I'm out of here. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of this kind of thing. All right. May the Force be with you guys. And I hope you have a happy new year. Let's talk to you later today or tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see.